Good afternoon. It's Robert and Julia Miller with another exciting real estate update.
Yeah.
How was your week?
Good. So far, so good. Anyway, yeah.
Looking forward to getting out of town a little bit.
I am. It's starting to heat up, and so going up north will be nice.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Taking a couple days off later.
We decided to kind of change things around a little bit, so you have our bookshelves behind us now. Just something else to look at.
See if that works out better.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a joke?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. What does a house wear? A dress.
Oh my gosh.
I got more where that came from.
Oh boy. You're going to be here all week?
I'll be here all week.
Okay. My joke is mandatory temperature screenings will be required for fans attending the Foreigner reunion concert. If you're hot-blooded, they'll check it and see.
Oh boy.
Got a fever of 103, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Wow.
This month in history, in 2017, the Amazing World of Dr. Seuss Museum opens June 3rd.
Very cool.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Very cool.
In 1953, Elizabeth II is crowned Queen of England at Westminster Abbey.
Wow.
This is an interesting one. 1896. So it just takes a while to get new innovations off the ground.
Sometimes.
1896, Henry Ford test drives his first quadricycle, they called it then, vehicle on June 4th in Detroit, Michigan, of course.
So that was before he invented the Model T.
Well, it was the beginning of it, and then it grew and became the Model A.
And that was just after
and then
the
the Model T.
1900s, right? Just after like 1906
Yep.
or something?
Yep. So took a few more years.
Yeah.
1889, a dam breaks. May 31st, flooding nearby Johnstown, Pennsylvania, killing 2,200. Yeah, that was bad.
Wow.
In 1861, the U.S. Civil War begins June 1st with a skirmish at Fairfax Courthouse in Virginia.
Wow.
In 1859, Big Ben, the great bell in London's Elizabeth Tower, rings for the first time.
Wow, 1859.
And finally, in 1754, Ben Franklin flies a kite in a storm to prove lightning is electricity on June 5th.
Took his life into his own hands to prove that one.
You're right, that's right. We've got to thank him for that. So. Okay, so some tips. Some tips. A lot of people are getting into the market now, so we have some tips for getting your home ready. These are a few things that are probably going to get called out on inspection, so you might as well fix them now and increase the offers that you're going to get on the property in the first place.
And the length of time it takes to get an offer. If
you exactly.
Do these up front, just cut out a lot of time.
Right, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So, fresh coat of paint. If it's looking a little, I would go ahead and do it. Pull the trigger. It's one of the cheapest upgrades you can do.
Especially if it's new paint you already have, you can do baseboards and doors and really fix things up.
Yeah, that really makes it pop when you do that.
Brightens it right up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wash your windows and screens. You definitely want the home to appear bright and open and well-maintained. Washing windows and screens is a big help for that.
Goes a long way, yeah.
Service your air conditioner. Again, this will be something that an inspector is probably going to call out anyway. If there's any deficiency in the splits that he reads, he's probably going to call it out anyway. So you might as well have a receipt showing it just got serviced, and that just makes the whole process easier.
Right.
Shampoo your carpets and steam clean your tile. These will definitely freshen up the home and give it that nice, clean, new feel.
People do carpets a lot, but then they forget about the tile, and you see wear marks in the tile essentially from dirty grout, unfortunately. So something that a lot of people overlook, and it's important.
Makes a big difference.
It
You
does.
can really tell.
Yeah, people are, oh, the tile's old, and it may not necessarily be old or worn in. It just needs to be cleaned, and the grout just needs to be steamed.
Right. Replace and caulk broken roof tiles. Again, this is something inspectors, I rarely have attend an inspection review and not have at least one broken tile.
Yeah.
So might as well get that done now. Trim your landscaping, blow it out, give it a really fresh, the first appearance, our first impression is so important. So
Appeal.
yeah, curb appeal, get it trimmed, blow out the debris, plant some fresh flowers, some color always helps, especially here in the desert.
Good time of the year to blow out that landscaping anyway, because snakes can hide in there. So just get it all blown out and cleaned out, and make sure there's no snakes hiding in there.
Snakes.
Snakes.
Okay. Some recent changes due to the pandemic. This is something that we like to follow because we're just seeing innovations. We're seeing the way people conduct business is changing, and it's generally for the better. So close to home, this is from Real Trends, talking about brokerages. Many of the brokerage clients of Real Trend are putting into motion plans to reduce their occupancy expenses. Right. So they've a big tale from a recent survey they sent to leading firms around the country. A whopping 62% of those polled will consider reducing their footprint when office leases come up for renewal. Yeah. With nearly half seriously considering office consolidations. And then I've also heard about satellites, just setting up micro offices versus a large footprint office.
Well, we've heard of office sharing too. That goes on. So instead of brokerages having their own offices, they might do an office share with a mortgage company, a title company, something like that, to where it's one office. But
yeah, and it reduces your overhead too.
And like a co-workspace too.
Yeah. So the bottom line is that the COVID-19 health crisis has fostered a universal acceptance of virtual business.
True. Yep.
Along those same lines as from National Association of Realtors, in recent polling, a third of employees want to work from home permanently. So they're kind of getting used to the idea and liking it.
Yeah.
About 1/3, 35% recently surveyed said they prefer to continue working from home permanently. Now this is kind of interesting, and I'm still trying to get my head around it. Remote workers surveyed say their regular expenses have increased by $108.
Wow.
So it's reflected in groceries and utilities.
Utilities I get because, usually everyone's out of the house during the day. But groceries?
I would think you'd be spending more out at restaurants and Starbucks and all of that, and you'd be actually
the grocery line item is more, but the eating out is less. That's certainly the way it is with us.
Groceries are less expensive than restaurants, so
big time.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Yeah. They're also talking about saving on childcare. Childcare is really expensive, so.
Yeah, but even if you're working from home, you got to do something with little Johnny while you're working.
Well, yeah, that's true. Even if you're working at home, in some cases you still have to have childcare. But still, if you don't have to, that's a big chunk of savings, along with gas, public transportation, clothing, dry cleaning.
Gas for sure, yeah. And a lot of the companies were doing refunds on auto insurance because we weren't driving as much. So.
Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, so it's surprising that average expenses have gone up for people working from home, but it's a trade-off most are happy with. So most workers seem content to skip the commute and potentially work in their pajamas, even if it means spending more on food and utilities. So now there is talk about a hybrid type of work schedule where you work from home 2 or 3 days a week, and then you only go in 2 days a week.
Yep.
Or 3 days a week. So
I had a girlfriend that Even when the stay-at-home order was in place, she did accounting, so she had to go to the office a couple days a week, pick up invoices and that sort of thing. Check the mail, I guess. But the other days of the week, she was at home. It didn't work well for her. She preferred to work out of the home, even though her kids were grown. But she did it. She worked from home part of the time during the stay-at-home order, and then went into the office a couple days a week at the most.
Right.
So.
One thing, and we alluded to this in a previous session, with people not being able to afford downtown urban homes because it's so expensive, moving to the suburbs, and working from home enables them to buy a more affordable home in the suburbs. One thing that they're talking about doing is satellite offices. So not completely 100% working at home, but you may have a satellite office much closer to your suburban home that you can go to, rather than going downtown to the corporate office every day.
Yeah, I think a lot of businesses should look at that for sure.
Yep.
Could benefit them.
Yep, that is definitely a good option. On the mortgage front, this was really big news out of National Association of Realtors. Record low mortgage rates could be here for a very, very long time. Yeah, yay. The Federal Reserve announced Wednesday that it would keep its benchmark interest rate near zero through 2022. So a move that could set the course for record low mortgage rates for the next 3 years. The Federal Reserve's view that a rate hike will not occur for 3 years is a signal to the market to expect an all-in accommodative monetary policy. Lawrence Yun, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, it's also very likely that the Fed will be aggressively purchasing mortgage-backed securities behind the scenes. So those are all good news and great for stimulating the economy.
Right.
Yun said that that could help push mortgage rates even lower, at or near 3% for an extended period of time. So there's been some thought that this might be short-lived and interest rates would just skyrocket right back up again. But it looks like some of the policies getting put in place are going to keep it here for a while. Mortgage applications, people are rushing out and getting refis, and also home buyers. There's a lot of pent-up demand, and they are rushing back into the market. So mortgage applications are up 13% over last year. And remember, last year, last year was a record year, and they're up 13% from.
It's good. We need them to be out to help the economy.
Yep. So this is interesting. We've alluded to previous episodes about the short-term rentals, Airbnbs, vacation rentals really took a hammering because of the timing of when this pandemic started. But they are seeing a major surge in demand, and it makes sense. City dwellers looking for an escape this summer are rushing to find short-term rentals. Sites like Airbnb and VRBO are reporting a jump in numbers lately. Case in point, Airbnb says it has more nights booked for U.S. listings between May 17th and June 3rd than compared to that period of a year ago. So we're already ahead of last year, despite the pandemic.
And when you think about it, instead of staying in a hotel, why not stay in an Airbnb where it's less trafficked, less likely to get a bug, whether it's corona or anything else?
That's possible.
So you're having less traffic. I mean, you and I are staying in little places when we go away that are less trafficked places. They're small little quaint inns, not the big Best Western or, Marriott's, or just because it's less people that have been there, less exposure possibly.
Right, and it feels more like a home too.
Yeah.
So
part of the experience too. Nobody's traveling far distances right now, or not many people anyway. Not many countries are allowing it. So you want to kind of stay someplace close, and they'll take an Airbnb over a large motel.
Right. one of the driving factors of this is people are, having been stuck in their homes for a few months, are ready to get out a little bit, even if it's just a little one day
Right.
or one night, 2 day, one night, little adventure, 3 or 4 hours away.
Take it.
They'll take it.
Take
So that's great to see. Short-term rental demand is back.
Yeah. Good
This
stuff.
was interesting. Could the open floor plan be in jeopardy? Again, this is related to the change in so many people working from home. Now they're finding that the open floor plan is not conducive to that. You get a lot more echoing, a lot more noise, people in the kitchen, and it makes it difficult to work, especially if you're holding Zoom meetings or on the phone a lot. I hadn't thought about that, but
It's true. It's true. The cat or the dog's playing behind you.
yeah.
You need to be able to shut the door and go to the other end of the house.
Right. I personally don't think the open floor plan is going away. It's
I don't think
too loved, and people just like that open floor plan.
Yeah.
It just feels so much better than a chopped up house. I think what it could spur out of this is more dens. The location of the den, preferably at the front of the house, and in some cases maybe even 2 dens. Or an extra bedroom that can be easily converted to a second den.
Well, don't forget about some of the floor plans that have the den off the master. So it's almost like a master retreat that's used as a den in most cases, or an exercise area. But a lot of people put a desk back there because they know they can close the bedroom door, go into the retreat, and they're pretty private.
Those are
back
nice.
there.
I like
Those
that.
are nice.
I like
Yeah,
that floor
those are
plan.
really
It's a good
nice.
idea. May see more of that coming on. So, just last topic, we're really firm believers that real estate is going to lead us out of this recession. As we get back to work and the financial landscape of the country begins to turn around, many experts agree that real estate has the potential to lead the way in the recovery process. Izzy Zellman of Zellman Associates, housing will fare better than expected during this severe downturn. CNBC notes mortgage demand from home buyers shows unexpectedly strong and quick recovery. The quick recovery has surprised most forecasters.
Good.
Yep.
That's good to hear.
So, bottom line, buying and selling a home goes way beyond personal growth and satisfaction. It supports our economy as a whole. And
Right.
according to experts, the economy will begin to recover in the second half of this year, but many forecasters believe it may be a lot sooner than that. So,
Nice.
okay, that's all we have for you today, this week. So, if you have anything you want us to talk about relating to real estate, please reach out and let us know. We'll be glad to have a discussion, do some research, and talk to everybody about it. So,
You can email us or leave comments below as well.
right. Okay, all for now. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All